It's getting to the start of the holiday season, and that means we're gonna see some heavy hitters on the Nintendo Switch too. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment has come out swinging, building on that formula that Age of Calamity has by taking us through a Tears of the Kingdom-esque version of Hyrule with a Musou-style flavour. What's it like? Prepare to hack, add some slash in for variation, and prepare to cut your way through hordes of enemies as we review Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment for Nintendo Switch 2. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment delves deeper into the lore of the Imprisonment War, mentioned in many Zelda games, but heavily featured as a pivotal plot point in both A Link to the Past and Tears of the Kingdom. The narrative focuses on Rauru, Sonia, and early incantations of Zelda's bloodline as they face the growing darkness of Ganondorf's rise. And playing this game almost feels like watching a Marvel show or movie that ties into the overarching lore of the Zelda universe, and that really makes the story exciting and engaging. At times, the narrative does get a little bit in the way of the action, but for fans of Zelda's world, these moments will make you feel more emotionally invested. Beyond the main heroes, the game also lets you step into the boots of constructs, Koroks, or even Hylian soldiers and other lesser characters who don't normally get their time in the spotlight to shine. And it gives these characters a voice and a playable role, and that adds a fresh perspective to familiar battles, and it makes the world of Hyrule feel even more alive. It's a clever way to expand on the story without losing focus on the big heroes, letting every fighter feel like they have a stake in the overall conflict. Speaking of conflict, there's plenty of that here, as the Musou hack and slash gameplay sees you cutting your way through hordes of enemies. The game structure works incredibly well, playing across a war map of Hyrule, the skies above, and the depths below, all in a manner of missions. Some missions can simply be ticked off by supplying materials to enhance fighters or unlock further customizations, while the main battles will have you clawing back territory in a war effort. This is where Age of Imprisonment really sinks its teeth into you, giving you a map of checkpoints to clear, captains to defeat, and camps to set up. Combat feels polished to near perfection here, and after a slow opening of tutorials, I was smashing my way through the battlefield, tagging in allies for stronger attacks, and countering powerful enemies with specific special moves that knock the wind out of them. It's incredibly satisfying to switch mid-strike to an ally, hit a special move, and then continue on fighting. The pick up and playstyle is very intuitive, and it makes you feel like a true conqueror, and there's nothing more rewarding than saving a failing outpost at the last minute with a super move that clears the area instantly. But then, just as you settle into the rhythm of hacking and slashing, Age of Imprisonment starts throwing in new mechanics, like zonai devices, which alter gameplay by adding elemental attacks, counters, and even rockets for traversal. The game then also introduces on-rail shooting sections, which are exciting and packed with action. These additions keep combat feeling fresh, breaking up the routine in a way that never feels forced. And that sense of satisfaction is really a common theme here in Age of Imprisonment. It's just slick, it's stylish, and it's such an engaging game from start to finish, thanks to its combat, which simply oozes coolness. Additional challenge missions extend gameplay beyond the main story, and two-player co-op lets you take on armies with a friend, adding even more replayability into the fun. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment continues the art style established in Age of Calamity, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom, preserving the series' cel-shaded look while feeling like an authentic mainline Zelda entry. The result is an instantly recognisable Hyrule that you feel like you've already explored before, but with the polish and flair you'd expect from a big Switch 2 release. Characters are detailed and expressive, from Rauru and Zelda to the support cast of familiar races of Hyrule, each with animations and different combat styles that bring them to life in battle. Levels are carefully crafted to feel familiar, yet fresh, often referencing areas that you've explored in the mainline games, but reimagined for large-scale Musou combat. The skies, forest, and even the depths all retain that iconic Zelda aesthetic while accommodating massive hordes of enemies without really feeling cluttered. I did see in some areas like small cliffs where they looked a little bit low poly, but as you're usually focused on the combat ahead, these areas will surely pass you by with no notice. Visual effects are stylish and over the top with super moves, elemental attacks from Zonai devices, and the on-rail shooting sequences are simply spectacular, bursting with sparks, flames, rockets, energy blasts, and it just makes every battle feel cinematic. The game manages to balance that spectacle and clarity, so even in the heat of chaos, you're following the action without feeling overwhelmed. Age of Imprisonment really nails that look of Hyrule, giving players a visually satisfying experience that feels both epic and true to the series. But really, what's the use of gorgeous visuals if the game can't perform under pressure? Thankfully, Age of Imprisonment delivers. The game runs at a consistent 60 frames per second during gameplay, even when the screen is packed with hundreds of enemies and special effects lighting up the battlefield. It's incredibly smooth and responsive, and it gives every swing, dodge, and special attack the precision that this kind of action needs. There is one odd caveat, however, and that's the cinematic sequences, including the ones that play out mid-level, appear to be pre-rendered and run at 30 frames per second with a noticeably lower resolution. Now, it's not a deal breaker by any means, and it's not really a part of the gameplay, but it just feels a little bit jarring when the action shifts back into that slick, fluid gameplay immediately after. Split screen performance naturally takes a small hit, running at a locked 30 frames per second, but it remains stable and perfectly playable throughout. Overall, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is one of the smoothest and most technically polished Musou experiences on a Nintendo platform to date. For my Hylians looking into accessibility, there are a few options here that may make your time in Hyrule a bit smoother. These range from locking your minimap orientation, auto-using rechargeable items, and displaying on-screen button or combo guidance, to full control guides, gyro controls, and various camera lock options that make combat easier to manage. It may not be the most in-depth accessibility suite out there, but these small touches will help make the experience more comfortable for a wider range of players. As always though, I recommend further research into finding out if Age of Imprisonment suits your needs. At just under $110 Australian, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment does land a bit on the steeper end of the price scale, but thankfully, it offers plenty to justify it. You can probably blitz through the main story in around 8 to 9 hours, but with additional playable missions, supply runs and Korok hunting, it'll easily stretch out your game time to 40 hours or more. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is one slick package. From combat polish to perfection, to the engrossing narrative that fills a huge part of Hyrule's history. There's a lot on offer here for Zelda fans. Even more casual players will enjoy their time on the battlefields of Hyrule thanks to the intuitive gameplay and controls that make pulling off amazing combat feats feel effortless. Hyrule Warriors may be a spin-off at heart, but its incredible attention to detail and outstanding gameplay mean Age of Imprisonment earns its place in Hyrule's legend. So, what's it like? Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is like Tears of the Kingdom crossed with Dynasty Warriors. I award it a 90 out of 100. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is a What's It Like certified exceptional game. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by Nintendo, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsItlike.com.au.